When a tragedy hits, a leader has a choice: bring people together or pick a side. Well, today we're looking at a wild case where President Trump kinda seemed to choose both. Let's get into it.
So, the whole thing kicks off with a truly shocking act of violence. Right-wing activist Charlie Kirk is fatally shot during a speaking event.
And this all goes down in a country that's already, let's be honest, a total powder keg. Political tensions are sky high and just about ready to boil over.
So, of course, in a moment of national crisis like this, all eyes immediately turn to the White House for leadership. But instead of one clear, unifying message from President Trump, we got two. And they were, to put it mildly, completely different from each other.
So, how in the world does one leader give two totally opposite takes on the exact same event? Yeah, that's what we're going to break down right now. And hey, while you're here, make sure to smash that subscribe button.
Okay, first up, let's look at the two very different faces President Trump showed the world.
First, you have what you might call Trump the healer. He's on NBC News, and he's calling for the nation to come together to reconcile. You know, this is that classic presidential role you expect in a crisis.
But then, get this, in the very same interview, we get this. He does a complete 180 and pins the blame on radical left group of lunatics. The whiplash is real. So, which one is it?
So on one hand, you've got this message of unity, and on the other, you've got a message that points fingers and just drives that wedge deeper. I mean, we're talking about two completely opposite stories, coming from the same guy.
Okay, so let's actually dig into that second claim. Is there any evidence that the suspect was actually part of this radical left? Let's check the facts.
Right, so the suspect's name is Tyler Robinson. He's 22 years old. But trying to pin down his political motives? That is where this story gets really, really weird. You have to see this. Robinson's family, they say they're MAGA supporters, but Robinson himself, he's an unaffiliated voter, didn't even vote in the last two general elections. The bullet casings had anti-fascist writings, but also a bunch of bizarre online references nobody can decode. It's just a complete and total mess of contradictions. And all that chaos, well, it perfectly explains why those first reports you probably saw, the ones claiming Robinson was definitely a left-wing extremist, yeah, a lot of those have since been corrected or just straight up retracted. So with the facts being this murky, you'd think people might, I don't know, take a breath and wait for more info, right? Wrong. Welcome to the internet, folks.
In the minutes and hours after the shooting, an entire army of what the source material calls keyboard warriors mobilized online. And they were not there to mourn, they were there to fight.
And look, this wasn't just random trolls in their basements. We're talking about elected officials and major MAGA leaders who were leading the charge, trying to dox and publicly expose anyone they thought was celebrating Kirk's death. The whole online debate got vicious fast. So, where does all of this anger and confusion and online warfare leave the country? Well, one governor thinks we're at a huge turning point. Utah Governor Spencer Cox basically posed this huge question on CNN. He sees this tragedy not as just another terrible event, but as a genuine moment of decision for the entire nation.
And he puts the responsibility on everybody. A call to really look inward and ask a massive question about the future. Do we keep going down this road of blame and division, or is there another way?
And honestly, that's the big question we're all left with. Is this a real fork in the road for America? What path do you think is next? Let us know what you're thinking down in the comments, and if this explainer helped make sense of it all, do us a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one.